to Knit the Books. I'm Vicky.
I'm Allie.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about finished books. I have only finished one. How about you?
I've only finished one as well.
Oh, but I loved mine. Did you love yours?
I did. It was good. How about you talk about yours first?
Okay. Well, I had talked about this on the last podcast.
Where we talked about
what we were reading. And it is, I finished Big Little Lies.
I actually got that this last week. I bought it for $4 at the dollar store.
You go. I loved it.
That's the only reason I picked it up, though, because I was like, that's a great deal.
It was a great deal. I finished listening to it this week. I absolutely loved it and was surprised because through the book it talks about the accident and you try to figure out who it is all the way through. I was very surprised at the end as to who it was. I'm almost ready to start listening to it again because, when you listen to it, sometimes you wonder if you miss little snippets. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it so much, it's going to be one that I will listen to a second time.
Did you like the reader then?
I did love the reader. I'll go back to see who read it, but I just checked it on Amazon, and out of 13,354 readers, it's like 4.5 stars. So apparently everybody likes this book.
I've heard great things.
HBO has picked it up and has done a little mini-series, and Reese Witherspoon plays Madeline, Nicole Kidman plays Celeste, and I guess Shailene Woodley maybe who plays Jane. I'm not for certain on that. But I watched the 4th episode. Now that I finished the book, I can watch more episodes. So I watched one this morning before I come over here, and I'm enjoying it too. But as that goes, it's different. I am enjoying the series. I love the book.
Is it staying true to the book?
Well, if it's staying true to the book, there was something happened on that episode that I don't remember happening in the book. So.
Because you have to remember, I used to be a diehard, the book's better, blah, blah, blah. But you have to think this is a different medium, and sometimes they have to make changes. Maybe they don't even want to make the changes, but sometimes they have to just to make it better for that medium.
Right.
So, but I'm always curious about like, how well it stays to the book. Because sometimes you watch a movie or something, and it's word for word almost.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes totally different.
I know that... No Country for Old Men, I listened to that book, and I've watched the movie multiple times. I really like the movie, and when I listened to the book, I was like, this is almost, like, they just took this and turned this into the screenplay. Like, it is so much the same. But then, like you said, what gets frustrating is when it seems like sometimes when they just take that idea or the concept, and then they just run willy-nilly with it, and then it's like, that's what's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of the series that runs true to the book, but I just don't remember what happened when I watched this morning in that 4th episode even being in the book. But it didn't take from it in any means. It just added a little something to it. But I'm enjoying it too. And it's read by Caroline Lee. I just loved it so much. So.
Very good. Well, I'm gonna. I'd like to read mine soon, but I've got to get caught up on my list because I have things in. Anyway, doesn't matter. I finished. Are you done?
I am done.
I finished reading I See You by Claire McIntosh. I talked about this last time. This is the psychological thriller where Zoe finds her picture in the back of a magazine and like the ad for like a dating site that she'd never been on, and then she starts like researching it, and then she realizes that a few of the women who have been in previous ads have been murdered or whatever. So basically you're following the story to see who's putting the pictures in the ads, like what's happening, like who's... It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I haven't written a review for it yet, but it's really, really good. The ending's fine. Like, I felt like it ended really well, then it kind of had a little epilogue. And I didn't hate it, but I didn't find it necessary. So, like, that's one of the reasons why I haven't written a review yet, because I've been trying to decide how I feel about that little kind of epilogue thing. But I really liked the story. I thought it was well written. I liked the characters. She also wrote I Let You Go, which was her first novel, which I read a year or two ago, whenever it came out. I think I read it last year. and I really liked it, but I like this one a lot better.
Good.
So that one's a good one. It's a different take, I feel like, on the psychological thriller because it's bringing in like technology more so than some of them do, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is kind of interesting. So did you say you listened to that one, or
No, I read
it? Okay.
That was one that I had an advanced copy for, but it's out. So I don't know if the audiobook is out yet, though.
Okay. Well, I haven't been on social media. I have slipped and gone on a few times because there's been some family things going on, but. So I didn't know whether you'd finished and had written a blog about it or not. So
no, I haven't yet.
That's all right.
I'm a little bit behind on my reviews, but that's okay. So that brings me to 14 books read so far this year out of my goal of 35. So I'm not really worried about not meeting my 35, even though I've kind of had a slump this March. With my reading, but that's okay.
But you're still there. You're almost halfway.
Exactly. So
you go, you.
Thanks. All right.
Good job. So that is it. We'll be back on Wednesday with what we're reading now. So if any of you have finished any good books, put it out in the thread, and we can check in and see what everybody else is reading. And I like to find out what other people's reading because sometimes they read something that I might not normally look at, but after they've read it and talk a little bit about it, it's like, oh, that sounds so good. I think I want to add that to my list. So we appreciate any ideas we get from you. So you guys have a great Monday, and we will see you on Wednesday.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.